This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that allows you to make a professional-looking website regardless of your experience, whether it be a blog, a store, or an online portfolio. What's up, guys? My name is Mark. Let's talk about the Lakers. Now, as of the recording of this video, the Lakers are 0-3, and people are freaking out. If you're one of the people freaking out, I'm here to tell you why you need to calm the down. Very simple. I got 3 points for you. Number 1, LeBron's history of joining new teams. LeBron may be the greatest player of all time. In part because of his greatness and his unique talents, he is not the easiest guy to play with. It takes time adjusting to his tempo and play style. It takes time building chemistry with him. When LeBron first came to Miami in 2010, they struggled in the beginning, got off to a really bad start, and people were freaking out. They still made the finals. When LeBron went back to Cleveland, they got off similarly to a bad start. LeBron himself wasn't playing as well. People were freaking out. They still made the finals. This time around, guess what? He's getting off to another bad start. On top of all of it, this Lakers team is not the same as the 2011 Heat or the 2015 Cavs. It's not as good, and LeBron's not going to make the finals this year. This Lakers team is much younger. There are no proven all-stars on this team. There are fewer veterans, less shooters, all of which makes it more difficult to adjust for both LeBron and his teammates. Point number 2, three-point shooting. I'm sure I don't need to talk about why shooting is important. I mean, shooting is important for any team in today's NBA, but especially for the Lakers. The Lakers have a player by the name of LeBron James. Mr. James likes to have shooters around him. In my Lakers season preview, I mentioned that the biggest issue this Lakers roster has is the lack of three-point shooting. Surprise, surprise, everyone. This team is going to struggle with three-point shooting. Percentage-wise, they have 3 or 4 guys who hit threes at an above-average rate. One of those guys is Brandon Ingram, who barely takes any. However, with all that being said, these first 3 games have been a bit fluky. The Lakers have made 29 out of 101 threes, which is 28.7%. This team is a bad shooting team, but it's not that bad. There's going to be a regression to the mean, or in other words, they'll start shooting better. By my estimation, they'll remain in the bottom 10 in the league in terms of three-point percentage and possibly in terms of three-point attempts, but this isn't the 90s. They're not going to shoot this poorly from 3 as a team. LeBron in particular is 3 of 19 to begin the season. Come on, guys, he's not shooting 40%, but he's also not going to shoot 15%. And then finally, point number 3, they've got a weird mix of players and some pretty bad chemistry. Even without LeBron, it's just a weird mix. We all knew this before the season started. Rajon Rondo, notoriously difficult to play with and to coach, also notorious for the high volume of saliva in his mouth, but also a shockingly productive player once he figures out how to fit into the team. And of course, when he tries, which is during national TV games and during the playoffs. Just look at his brief tenure with the Pelicans. He started off pretty rocky with them, but eventually they figured out how to make it work. They figured out how to play him alongside Jrue Holiday, and he played great. Rondo takes time. Lance Stevenson, probably one of the most difficult players to coach in the entire NBA right now. The guy is completely unhinged and off the rails 90% of the time he's on the court. But that's also how he makes his crazy and ones and his fancy plays. But again, it takes time. Michael Beasley. Unfortunately, Beasley is at his best when he's the best offensive player on his team and when he's getting isolation looks. It's just that if Beasley is your best offensive player, you won't win any games. So if he's going to fit into this team, he needs to add and take stuff away from his game. It's going to take time. On top of all of this, the Lakers have a lot of young players who are also trying to evolve their own games. It's going to take time.
But Mark, I want the Lakers to be good now.
All right. See, this is where it's your fault, Laker Nation, okay? Why did you have high expectations for this team? Is there a chance they miss the playoffs? Sure, I'd still pick them to make it, but bottom line, dude, if they don't make the playoffs, it's not a big deal. They're not championship contenders anyways. They built this team to succeed in 2020, not in 2019. There's a reason why they signed all these one-year deals. It's so that they could have enough cap space to grab a star free agent into 2019 free agency, right? LeBron and Magic and the front office collectively decided upon this path. It's why they didn't trade for Kawhi Leonard, for example. And just think about it, please, right? Do you really want to see the Lakers grab the 8th seed and get swept by the Warriors in the first round? Okay, fine. They might grab the 5th seed. Why? So they can just get past the first round and get swept by the Warriors in the second round? What's the point? Do you get what I'm saying? It's not a big deal even if they miss the playoffs. Let's shift towards solutions. Here's a couple things I would like to see the Lakers do for the rest of the season. Like mentioned, time is the most important thing. They need time to work out all the chemistry issues. If you're a Laker fan, the best thing you can do is not flip out every time they lose. In terms of specifics, if KCP continues to crap the bed, he needs to move down the depth chart. When Ingram's suspension is over, move Kuzma back to the bench, replace KCP with Josh Hart. Josh Hart might be the best three-point shooter on this team, and the Lakers really need that. Plus, he hustles, he runs hard, he plays good defense. He's a really good player. In terms of solving the three-point shooting, I watched all 17 minutes of Semi Mikhailuk's minutes against the Spurs. The guy didn't play great, and I think mostly it was just because he seemed really nervous. As the season goes on and he starts to develop a little confidence, his shooting will really help, especially if KCP continues to slide. As a team, I would like to see more ball movement from the Lakers. Luke Walton obviously deserves some blame here, but I also think that LeBron deserves some blame here too. As unselfish a player as he is, LeBron, like most superstars, has a tendency to disrupt the flow of the offense in favor of pick and rolls with no setup or no off-ball movement. I want to see less of that. I would actually love to see LeBron set more screens, play more inside than outside. And if we want to go very specific, I think LeBron should spend more time operating in the post, both high post and low post, instead of on the perimeter dribbling. LeBron's an all-around great passer, but he's always been most impressive from the post, in particular those weak side cross-court passes as he draws double teams. Especially as LeBron starts to age, playing in the post could really help elongate his career, and he's with the Lakers for the long haul. The Lakers have all the incentives to make sure that LeBron is just as good 2 or 3 years from now as he is right now. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the Lakers to start the season. I'd love to know yours down in the comment section below. Outfit change in 3, 2, 1, boom! Now before you go, I want to talk to you about Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. I've been using Squarespace for almost 2 years, way before they ever contacted me about this promotion. I've used Squarespace once for a client in a marketing class, and I've also used Squarespace. I've been using Squarespace for my personal blog. Essentially, Squarespace helps you build a website. It gives you a bunch of very different but also very good looking templates, and you can pick one depending on, first off, what you want your website to be about, and also just what type of vibe or visual aesthetic you want your website to have. The best part about Squarespace, at least in my opinion, is that it really is meant for anyone. Even if you're like me and you have no idea how to code and you're not even an especially artsy person, you can still make a really good looking website. Go to squarespace.com right now for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your website, you can go to squarespace.com/MDJ or use my promo code MDJ for 10% off of your first purchase of a website or a domain. All right, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time with another video. Peace.